You just know when you know. Putting Slow News Week and a friend's love conundrums together always proved to be comic gold at times. Just as I was sure that the coming days were going to be a little unstimulating, the mere words from a friend that said, "Hey, how are you, man? I have a question for you. I met a Filipino guy in Coron," was enough to make this kid giddy in excitement. Ring the alarm and shut the front door. My foreign friend who was healing from a breakup is about to get some Filipino D. I couldn't be more happy for her, especially when a few days prior, within the walls of Intramuros, together with another friend, we had a deep conversation on love and where we were at that point in our lives, in the back streets of the walled city. She was on a dilemma on whether to open her walls too soon, on the possibility of a vacationship, a holiday romance, or what hopeless romantics call a shot at love. Turns out they've been chatting and nothing else. Yet, the other day he told me he loves me, after knowing each other for a few days. "Is this normal?" she asked. I must admit, I was put in a very difficult situation, as her friend and as a Filipino. In a time when foreign vessels can drown our countrymen's fishing boats and get away with it, how do I tell her to joyously partake and yet warn her of not getting prematurely way into deep and not be a traitor to our own country? Yes, he might have feelings. In fact, he's probably smitten. But I can never speak on his behalf. But hell yes, she should get her much-needed dose of killing. As someone who has been recently accused of being too passionate and intense for a Northern European's liking, it's safe to say that we Filipinos are way too damn expressive. She could most definitely use some warmth in her life after a 2-week winterside trip in Oz. But in a world filled with pretentious bullcrap, how can we be so sure of something or someone? To find out, I decided to have a beer with a very good Latino friend of mine in Manila Bay on a sunset. If you're asking, we poured the drink inside a tumbler, and on that afternoon, that beer wasn't beer, but was orange juice. And our conversation wasn't just conversation, but was a profound discourse. We were both feeling down as I've been halfway in my 4-week stint in the capital, and the fatigue of the city has slowly crept in while he sadly awaited the impending doom to his dating life. He finally had to leave Manila for good. Mind you, mi amigo was killing it on Tinder. One night we even hatched a plan to rescue him from a date at 2 a.m. to make way for a second one. Girls were just stigmatized by his Latino good looks, and it was about to end. And he was sad. Over gulps we talk about what was certain in our lives that moment. There was no doubt we were on the process of healing. He too had recently gotten over a breakup. But when I asked him if given the chance, would he still want to get back with his ex? With no hesitation, he answered, yes. It took me back 2 years ago when on one Sunday morning whilst I decided to take a rest at a bench in the mall after doing my grocery shopping, an old Caucasian guy who speaks fluent and perfect Bisaya asked me if I could help him read a text message for him. He had spectacles on and a magnifying glass, and he was very nice, so I just had to. And on that moment, we became friends. We went on talking about his life, his battle against a viral infection that affected his hand movement, and his successful bout against prostate cancer. At 60, he got married. He is a former priest. He said when he fell in love, he just knew his wife was the one, the person he was willing to give up priesthood for. His church wanted to check if he was sure with his feelings, but he said he just knew when he knew. That's when I started to lose it and teared up. His wife eventually died and considers her kids and grandchildren as if they were his own. The last time I saw him was when I walked him to catch his ride. Wherever he is, I hope he's doing fine, still vibrant and having his favorite breakfast pancakes at Jollibee, Country Mall, Banilad. I told my Latino friend that just as sure as he was about his ex, the hurting that I felt too was valid. When I was betrayed by someone I thought who wouldn't earlier this year, I realized the importance of following one's gut. I knew the repercussions, I knew the risk, and yet I still went on with it and hoped for the best, thinking that no one is inherently evil. I was wrong, and I was right. I believe in the degree of complexity of the world in which we live in. Because I believe in giving people a chance, I also believe that once you show people kindness, they will repay you with such. But sadly, the world doesn't work that way. Most importantly, I believe in forgiveness and healing. But damn it, I should have trusted my gut. LOL. Before writing this, I messaged my love-struck foreign friend in Palawan. What was it that made you go back to the Philippines? I asked. Two things, she said. How the place and the people made me feel. Relaxed, happy, and carefree. And a boy. I knew it. I said, I am so happy for you. So it was the gut feel then. You just knew? I asked. Yep. Felt so sad when I left. Just had to come back. Because you just know when you know.